Alright, hello everybody, and welcome on back to some Minecraft Musings Oasis Season 4. Sorry, just adjusting the alarm so it's closer to 30 minutes. Not that it really matters anyway, we'll give or take a little bit extra. Worst case, you can pause it and watch it later. Or not, I'm not going to be offended. So, anyways, having great discussions. Well, first, let's catch up a little bit. So, I filled in some more windows, now I've got some more floors. We're about halfway there, I'd say. Actually, maybe a little over half. I don't know. That's pretty far up, but it's just awesome to see that it's coming along. I got a bunch of random stuff. Ooh, no emeralds. Should probably fix that. But yeah. Anyways, oh my gosh, it's a whole fanfare of sea creatures being or dying. Anyways, having some very intricate discussions on the X app, formerly known as Twitter. So with the soldier and the lawyer. So I think I was doing that, but just to catch you up a little bit, just in case, because I like to leave nothing to chance. I mean, as a computer scientist, it's best practice to just assume, start from the beginning. Don't assume any blind spots. I mean, if you got proof to the contrary, then cool. Then you don't have to worry about that. It's not a blind spot anymore. But if you're unsure, best to clear it up anyway. Anyways, so it causes a lot of overhead. Just like including different packages in every code that you write, or any file of code that you write, whatever, semantics. So, but this discussion, the soldier, 61-year-old dude who shall be named as Soldier, which of course you're free to go follow my X app. I don't recommend it though. It's a flaming dumpster fire of stuff. So I like to refine it and then present the stuff here, if that makes sense. Like filter out the ick, because I get pretty mean with it sometimes too. And that's not saying, go check it out because of my mean memes or anything like that. It's because you might get offended and, lose a little respect for old A-Rye. Well, either way, it's all done in mostly jest and mostly science. Sometimes it gets into the emotional space, which I feel like I'm pretty good about that now. Not always, though. I have my moments. I mean, phew, my old Facebook back in the day used to be riddled with stuff that was embarrassing and cringeworthy. So, anyways, now my point is, so we've got soldier, and then we've got lawyer, who was a former. He worked for Obama, or at least he said he has a picture. Worked for Obama's campaign. Now he's a lawyer for like criminal justice. I think substance abuse crimes, so non-violent, like drug crimes, basically dealing, using, possession, all of that. Like, I mean, it all could end you up in prison. So, which is a very bad situation. And all three of us are in agreement, soldier, lawyer, and I, that. Oh, and they're both very MAGA. They love Trump, and I'm not in love with Biden, but I love the idea of Trump not being president and a Democrat being president, just because most of the people on the Democrat side, like AOC and Bernie's my favorite, and even some people on the Republican side. Like I think I'm even related to Paul Ryan, although I think he's a little more of the one extremed ones. But anyways, I don't know. We don't talk obviously, but I just have a lot of family out in Wisconsin and that area, and the last name is usually not as popular as the first name. First names, I knew three Alexes that were crane operators at this one job I worked at, so it's not that unique. But the last name, and even then, there's a few people. Anyways, I digress. So these two, very opposing views on politics and religion too. They're both Christian. Um, the soldier is very Christian. He's like an old, almost retirement age. Well, 61, so not super old, but older. Um, uh, grandpa age, which I've been calling him Gramps, and it really upsets him. So and because every time he lashes out at me, and he says like legit like swears at me every now and then, and XApp hides it and says, this might be offensive, and like, which is good because if a kid got on there and actually we'll get to that, there was a kid talking on this YouTube video that I just commented on and left a link to Oasis season 4 for anyone who wanted to discuss religion and such, but I felt cringy commenting on YouTube because I try to keep that somewhat separate. I mean, in my musing videos, it's all fair game. Like, this is how we fix the world's problems. Like, we come here, we talk about it. This is a basic think tank for anybody that wants to join. So, and that's what a lot of streaming and YouTube is. Like, just people sharing their ideas, their understandings, their viewpoints, their perspectives, because perspective is reality, or perception is reality. How you perceive the world is how you're going to think the world is. I mean, that's just your observable evidence. Now, when you mix up faith with evidence, that's when you start getting into trouble. And already, lawyer has said, eradicate Islam, get rid of Islam. Like, whoa, you want to talk about radicals? Like, you want to end a whole religion? Like, yeah. And so, I don't know. And then, he gave me a link to this YouTube video, which was very insightful. It's 4 years old, so it's a little out of date. I mean, remember a long time ago I talked about being on an international flight to Germany, and I was talking with a German local for a good few hours of that flight. And he was talking, and he had worked in the U.S. He had a lot of experience with the U.S. culture and U.S. like ways of life, specifically government too. He was with the Wildlife Service, and so he'll just be named German. So the German and I talked at length, and he had been to Dubai 8 years ago. And he said like alcohol was so forbidden, like there was like a hole in the wall place that allowed it, but you had to be very hush hush about it. You couldn't be like drunk in public, or it had to be very secretive. And that was 8 years ago. Now 1 year ago, which is actually my picture in my YouTube channel, is Dubai. I went to Dubai for work, and I got to hang out with my old college roommate that flew up from Saudi Arabia, and he had gone to Dubai several times. A lot of people from Saudi Arabia and Qatar and all that, they move around. They go to vacation. They like, they get to go see all these other places, and they don't just go there. They go Europe. They go like nice beaches and stuff, and like they vacation because I don't know, they're people. It's just amazing how many people I talk to on the X app that seem to forget that these are people too, and which I mean, a not so funny topic, all the death that's happening from it, and that's why. That's why I keep rattling on about this stuff, because in the efforts of cybersecurity and white hat, death and killing and all that, like that kind of falls in line with it. Yeah, it's not technologically related, but it could be technologically prevented and fixed. You can use communication technology, which again, ridiculous class until I actually saw it. I thought it was so dumb. I was like, man, I'm doing computer algorithms. I'm making, encryption and decryption. Like, I'm making assemblers and well, not really. I didn't get to do that class, but databases and all this and protection, security, all this really cool stuff. And now I'm gonna go learn about journalism and boring like communication and there's a lot of very important overlap between journalism and computer science or cybersecurity, because the pen is mightier than the sword in a lot of situations, and the pen can cause a lot of swords to go out. Like, I mean, look at the U.S. government, look at war, look at the tens of thousands of people that have died because of U.S. pens, U.S. policy. Like, and I love my country. Don't get me wrong. I always feel like I have to say that because, and I was almost a soldier myself. They just didn't like substance use. So, whoops, my bad. They told me to come back within a year for the Marines, for military intelligence, by the way. So I was like the top of the top. Like I had any choice of job in there. I got 97% of my ASVAB stoned, and they wanted me to be in charge of nuclear weapons on submarines. Like, yeah, okay, and. And in all reality, yes, I would have been a fair choice. I've always been a leader in every job I've taken. Like, if I'm there long enough, then yeah, like I end up being a manager or assistant manager or something. It's because people trust me and I don't betray that trust. And because, like many people, and I'm not saying I'm some hot stuff, like I'm some amazing person, like everybody is capable of this. Everybody. That's why I love teaching computer science, because I love seeing the aha moments on literally anybody. Anybody. And like my most impressive, and not to pat myself on the back, because again, anybody can do what I do regardless. In fact, it's actually pretty easy if you just watch a few videos on YouTube. And take, 10 years to go to college. But no, I used to tutor Saudi students. Some of my Saudi friends that were computer science students up to like the second year computer science classes. I didn't get very good grades in those classes. I got B's and C's. I got a B plus in my sophomore class, and I was really excited about that. I completely didn't even do the final project too, because I was so worried about failing my other computer science class that I got a C in. And you have to get C's or better, or no, 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 no. You have to get a B or better. Wait, isn't it? How'd that work? Maybe it had to be a. Oh, also, by the way, look at my level. Unless you're underage, then don't look at it. Just kidding. I mean, like, my own kids are exposed to so much stuff on YouTube, and I sit there and I explain it to them. I'm like, hey, this is what this is. That's sus. Don't do sus things. And we leave it at that. Adult content is just that. Because really, adult content should actually be said, even though I say adult words for swearing, but adult content, a lot of this religion talk isn't really for adults. And that's where I said we'd get to talking about a minor. Someone was a self-proclaimed minor on that YouTube video that I watched. and he gave a comment that was amazing for like religious studies, theology, like amazing. It was a really long. It like highlighted a lot of points. And sorry, a little background info or context for that video that I'm talking about. It was a video about a former Muslim that was talking about how violent and gruesome the Quran is. Well, yeah, it is. So is the Bible. And he was saying there's no death penalty in the Bible, which right there, as someone who grew up Methodist, and mind you, Methodism is already a skeptical sect of Christianity where it's like, okay, you say a lot of good things, but there's some real crazy in there that I don't really think I'm on board with. And that's murdering your own son, selling your daughter to slavery, the death penalty for homosexuality. Like, it's all in the Bible too. And in fact, if you look at the Old Testament, there's even weirder stuff in there. Like, I don't think I've ever read too much about it. I've just heard many comedians talk about it, many people, and even theologians. Theologians. There you go. My uncle is a huge theologian at a university, and like he's super Christian. Like, I mean, he's Methodist, but like, he's all about it. He believes, and that's fine. That's his right. Creator given, which could be science. By the way, I like to throw that out there that scientists could be seen as a religion, but it's also, it's science, but like a faith. You put your faith in the observable known universe that we have proof and evidence in. It could be said that science is the strongest religion, but it's also its own thing. It's fact, but it's also a belief structure, and there is faith that this is what I know, and I will continue to try to expand what I know and what I can see and what I can help others see. Like, let's not forget that statue at CSU that says, I saw what I saw because I stood on the shoulders of giants. In fact, let's go show you the gigantic leap. It's so fun. And like and I got to get some of these water elevators up in this building. But but yeah, that's the important part. Like, yes, we take what we have, our benefits, our advantages, and we use it to help others. That's what all religions really do say. Like, at the base of it all, it's like, hey, I'm a people, you're a people. Let's try to help people live better lives, and let's help people live. That's it. That's the main thing. I mean, if you could reduce Christianity down to two words, it would be kind. That's it. And then if you get a little further, do unto others as you'd want done unto you. And that's a little more dangerous and up to interpretation because I forget what movie it is, but there's some villain that's like, I will do unto others before they do unto me, or I will kill them before they kill me, or something like that. All right, ready? Oh gosh. Oh, look at that beautiful scenery. Ooh, actually, this could be really cool for once we build that thing, the mausoleum, temple, or whatever. We'll make it like a Greek temple, but also like a cemetery. But then, sorry, I don't even have the lava bridge finished. In fact, it looks like there's an exposed place. I have a hard time getting the lava to sit right. So, anyways, oh, what's that over there? Oh, that's cool. You can see the sugarcane fields and the giant tree that I need to finish. The little temple for the all-inclusive learning application. That's still very important. We need to make that. I mean, there's probably already stuff out there, but I want to make like a really cool all-inclusive system that's comprised of multiple apps. All right, here we go. Woo! That tracks learning. Ah, that's so fun. Oh, sorry. That encourages learning, gamifies it, and teaches everything you need to know. So, to be successful in school and beyond. I mean, and I'm so excited that computer science is a core piece of education now. It is now in the standardized, at least Colorado. I can't speak for everywhere, but I've seen the Colorado standardized education website. It's really easy to get to. You just Google Colorado public school standards. Like, that's it. Then you look at the standards, like, okay, these are the things that we want to teach all kiddos in Colorado. And computer science is in there. Now, granted, it's kind of up to the teacher's discretion, like what level. 'Cause I mean, I think that's where I need to look at it a little better and understand it a little better, but it's in there. I mean, so by the time you reach 12th grade, it is mandatory that you have at least some understanding of coding, computer science, programming, all that stuff. So, and I took some electives when I was in high school, and I graduated back 2006. I'm 35. So, um, and I graduated from a small mountain town that was very religious, very Christian, not so much Jewish. I dated this half Jewish girl. Her mother was Jewish, her dad was Christian, and she felt persecuted. Like, there was just only a handful of Jewish people in our town. And so that was kind of like an early understanding of, huh, there's people different from me. Okay, cool. Not just anybody. She was fine. And so, like, empathetic and wise. Like we dated through the early years of college too, and we were in sociology together, and we did a project on Darfur, or the African area that was using child soldiers, which there was a lot, and there still are today. Not as much. I was Wikipediaing it the other day, and it sounds like there's still stuff going on, and I don't know. I mean, I haven't been to Africa. I might actually soon, because my work does do work over there. So, anyways, and not a soldier. Like that's why I keep ripping on this soldier guy because not that I disrespect soldiers. Like I mean, I have a lot of military in my family. It's just you need to acknowledge that you're out there murdering people and that's death, that's killing, however you want to phrase it. And Jesus don't like it. Like if Jesus was real or whatever, if God came back today, do you think she would be really upset with, oh, the fact that you just killed somebody? I don't care why you did it. You just did it. Like, and I say that as a parent. Like, if my, granted, they don't kill, thank goodness, but like, if my kids broke something, doesn't matter how it happened, it broke. So if there's a broken lamp, or like, thankfully I haven't had to deal with that. Oh, there was water on the floor once. Okay. So they were playing in water. They didn't understand that that caused a big mess, and like I had to clean it up, and I had to get rid of the water. So they were splashing and dumping water all over on the carpet and everything, and like, and I had to explain. I was like, this is bad, and this is why. So and then we moved on from there. They learned where it was appropriate to play with water, which have a lot of places. You can take a bath and play with bath toys. We can go to the pool, like even in the backyard, play with the sprinklers and stuff. Like there's options. And by doing that, not only did I, and I didn't punish them for it. I mean, I got my voice a little louder, but I was quick to be like, you know what? Okay, and here's what's going on. And it hasn't happened since. If you treat people like adults, even your kids, if you give them respect and dignity and your time instead of emotions and anger and all the primal things that we instantly want to do, that's our knee-jerk reaction is, bite their head off, figuratively, thank goodness. And like, and the Bible does say crazy stuff like sacrifice your son. What was that, like Isaac, Abraham, or something? I don't know, but like, it was like, and I know that because not only like reading the verses as a kid, like also in art history class, there were a couple of sets of doors, like art for church doors, that were of that story of where the Cain and Abel. I don't even know. Like, throw out a name. It's whatever. That's fine. But the fact of the matter is you need to sacrifice your son to show that you love me. Okay, crazy voice in my head, like, and any given number of things, like his brain could have been rotting. Like, I mean, what was that? Salem witch trials. There was a bunch of ergot or hallucinogenic poisoning in the grains, like that were causing people to hallucinate or act funky. Like, there are all these other scientific explanations for a lot of these things. To where back in the day, before we had a firm grasp of an understanding on science, they didn't even know that the Earth wasn't the center of the universe. And that's one of the points that I brought up. Is like, the church is fallible from when Galileo was persecuted as a heretic by the church because he said that the Earth wasn't the center of the universe. And there was a time when people thought chariots brought the sun across the sky and the moon. Like, that's just human understanding of what we don't understand. Or it's like our best attempt to explain the unexplainable. Be like, I don't know. Like, it's a god. You could say that it was a force and trade the word God for force in Greek and Roman mythology or understanding their best attempts. And then it's like, oh, that makes a whole lot more sense. There's the force of the ocean. Like, there are different tides that are controlled by the moon. Like, that's not really some boogeyman, some half fish merman or whatever. Like, oh, that makes sense. Or like a 40-year flood. Like, did it really last 40 years? And was it? And like, we're finding out that like parting the Red Sea, there's a part over there, or a place, sorry, better term, that does do that, like a low tide, that it provides a walkway. And so, like, they could have said something like that, or that's what they were referring to. Like, oh, this time of year, the sea was low enough to where we could escape. Well, okay, cool. Did God do that, or did a force do that? And not the force, like, start thinking Star Wars and stuff. But, like, it's like physics, astrophysics, or even, earthly physics, normal physics. I don't know. Is that like, are physics on Mars considered a different version of physics, or is it a different flavor? Not really. I'd say it all is pretty relative. If Neil ever watches my videos, he's probably gonna have, well, he's gonna have a chuckle or two, but he's probably gonna be upset at some of the stuff. Like, wait, what? That is so dumb. That's okay. Not everything I say is gonna be a golden nugget. And for those of you that watch a lot of these videos, a lot of what I say isn't gonna be a golden nugget. So, Speaking of Colorado and the gold rush and all that. And it's funny, when I was in Malaysia and I was looking at that mafia mansion, like I was doing a tour. Oh, and I gotta give her a good review too. But anyways, I was doing a tour of a mansion in Malaysia, Penang or Georgetown. Yeah, see, it's like Penang that actually sounds like something that could be, and then Georgetown because of colonization. But anyways, and now they're like heavily Muslim, Islamic. I mean, and when I was in the airport, there was a lot of head coverings. Um, which was fine. I mean, I've been around people wearing hijabs all the time. I don't care. Like, that's your prerogative. If you want to wear it, cool. I hope you don't have to wear it, but even if you do, who am I to say? I'm a visitor, I'm a guest, like, and that's generally the attitude with like the international students. They wouldn't really push their stuff on anyone. They just, quietly wear their hijab. Like, if it makes them more comfortable. And that's why I love universities and colleges, because on average, they're gonna get less flack. Now, I say that, but my Saudi roommate still got jumped in Old Town in FOCO back in our college days. And mind you, this is even a while ago, over 10 years ago. So like things have probably changed for the better. And I will say, the cops in Fort Collins were always very understanding of international students. Like it didn't seem like there was a lot. I mean, because they're already on their toes. Like they have to be. Like if they do the wrong thing, they're on camera now. There's now less or there's no protection. If someone dies, like there's a good chance that they could get in trouble for that. I mean, like put in prison. I mean, even for neglect. And one of my cop buddies has told me about how he's not a fan of that. I mean, and understandably so. Like that does sound like if it was a legit accident and then you're putting your life on the line every night, like I could see how that'd be. No, I can put myself in his shoes. Thankfully, I don't have to. He's doing it. I'm doing IT. you know. And hopefully never war too. But a lot of people, you know, would think that, say that, but here they are. Mm. And this YouTube video, sorry, I know we're going to go back and forth and all over the place, but the YouTube video, the guy was a former Muslim, and he was just talking about how ridiculous Islam is in the Quran, and highlighting a bunch of points. Now, and that minor, okay, so a kid comes on, and that's what he was meaning by that, and he's like, I'm a minor and I could school you, and he basically put up a bunch of examples of how the Bible does have the death penalty. Stoning was how we killed people back in the day. Um, You could be stoned for being gay. You could be stoned for wearing two different types of fabric or planting two different types of crops together. I guess no, those are probably more rules. I don't know if those are actually stonings, but the gay thing. Like Pope Francis recently came out and said that they could bless gay marriages or LBG, all the letters LGBTQ, and I see so many of them. Basically, non-traditional marriages is a better way to phrase that. Because traditional marriage would be a one man, one woman, um, regardless of what they identify as. Uh-oh. I think I just lost internet, but that's fine. This is recording offline. And that's why I don't like streaming as much, because I don't have my devices hardlined. So if I had a cord going from my PS5 to the router, that would be one thing. Or my computer to the router, but you, excuse me, you have to buy a converter anymore. Sorry, that was burping right into the mic. My bad. Um, it kind of snuck up on me too. Uh, but no, yeah. So it's an 11-minute video. I'll have to try to. I really should get better at. As I watch these, maybe I'll be putting in the links, or someone can put in the links. Like as people see these, be like, "Aha, I got this," or whatever. So, or hey, here's an article for this. And articles are brutal because, like, thankfully most of them have a summary for like the beginning, and it's like okay, because like like sitting down and taking the time to read an article, even watching that 11-minute video, it took some work on my part. And so if it's going to be a video like that, like if I were to really want to start sharing my views on religion and politics, I would probably make like a 5-minute, or I have actually, but I'd make a better 5-minute or 10-minute video, say what I need to say, and be done. Like these videos are musings. We're doing half hours at a time. We're just wandering around, talking about all sorts of things, whatever's on the table, everything. Not everything. Like, because if kids end up watching this, especially since it's a Minecraft video, I don't want like messed up things. But there's nothing more messed up than the Bible. My gosh. Like seriously, if you read the Bible, and I did as a kid, I had Sunday school, and like so while my parents were in church, um, I was downstairs in the basement with like some people that would talk about it, and I loved it too because we were Methodists, and so we didn't believe all of the same stuff that your typical Christians or Catholics or whatever believed. And even my roommates in college, they were Smahili Muslim, so they weren't even Shiite or Sunni. They were a third one I had never even heard of. I was like, oh, that's cool. And we talked about a lot of things, and like I don't think I actually ever really read the Quran, but we were talking about it. I have a copy, but I didn't have to because what was important to them, what was highlighted enough for them to talk about, was what was important to me, and that's all I base it off of. Same with the Bible. Like I don't go around telling people they should sell their daughters to slavery. Like, oh, you could get a good price for her, and I love that because it's on The West Wing. I found that clip that The West Wing was a show about American politics, and it had a scene where um, he's getting visibly irritated at this woman that's sitting down while he's talking, and she's like a theologian, a theological person, someone who studies religion, and not like a real doctor, quote unquote. She had a doctorate in English, and she was pro religion or something. And then he was explaining what parts of the Bible he didn't like, because they weren't relevant anymore. They don't make sense to today's world. Like selling your daughter to slavery, having a donkey show, or killing your son. Like all of that is just horribly archaic and barbaric, and we're not doing it anymore. We don't have to. It's the year 2024. Like, my gosh, still getting used to 24. But we're 2,000 years removed from that, and like just like technology, you need to have updates. The world changes, things change. Like, and same with Islam too. Like, I don't care that the book has all this like very violent stuff. So does the Bible. Like, it's up to the person to be like, you know what? I'm not gonna do that. Like, and almost everybody, when faced with a decision, and that's why I feel especially sorry for U.S. soldiers. I mean, I feel even worse for the people they're killing, but I feel bad for the soldiers as well. A lot of my friends and family, because they're put with that hard decision, like, oh, phew, I gotta shoot this person, or you know, better safe than sorry, or whatever, or risk dying, like, or blown up, or whatever. Like, it's all bad, and it's like you can debate and argue all day about that Christianity is good and the Bible's good, and then see all of this carried out by nations that are, and that's part of the reason we try to separate church and state. We try to say this isn't a religious country. This is a, but it is. It's mostly we got God on our money, like one nation under God, like it's. Although I mean it's good. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad people argue all the time that like oh it's glitching. Um, People argue all the time. Oh, there we go. I was gonna say sometimes just doing some of that can like jog it loose, and that's oh no maybe there we go. We can do it that way. There's many different ways to do it, and all that is that's like a deadlock somewhere. Maybe the game crashes. I don't know. I think it's if enough memory is being sent to that process, because each one of these things is like each interaction is making something different. So like I'll probably be good with pumpkins. Oh no, see it already fixed itself. I can take them out of there. That's just good programming right there. And trying to make machines follow the rules yet do what we want. Like it's such a stretch. Like to do exactly that. Like, because explaining something and then actually doing it, yeah. So, yep, like, see, that stack is glitching. Only one went, and there's a ghost stack. But if I did this, oh, yep, see. And that's okay, and that might cause it to crash, so apologies. Where are we at? Okay, yeah, we're almost done with this episode. This was a pretty hardy one. Sorry for that, but I've been having a really deep discussion with the soldier and the lawyer, two MAGA Trump supporters that we agree on a few things. We start to get like more civil, and then they fly off the handle. Like right now, they're really mad at me because I called them fake Christians. I was like, were you virgins at your weddings? Like, like that's a big one. Everyone's supposed to be a virgin when they get married because you're supposed to devote yourself to only one other person. You're only supposed to have a body count of one person. I apologize for any kids watching this. Like, ask your parents about that, maybe, or just wait until fifth grade, because by fifth grade, you will get an explanation from teachers about all that adult stuff. So there you go. That's as far as you have to wait. And once you're in fifth grade, then it's just a holy nightmare. Like, ugh, hormones and trying to figure your life out. And thankfully, my kids aren't there yet, but they're going to be here soon. And it's like, ugh, I got to prepare for that. Their boyfriends and girlfriends, and I don't even care which one. Like, I'm already in the mindset that if they want to be homosexual, they can be homosexual, whatever. But I mean, as long as they're happy and safe. All right, ta-ta for now. And I was, oh wait, no. Let's do a good outro. Basically, just be kind. That's the biggest thing. I don't care what religion you follow. Like everybody's the same. We all want the best for everyone. We start inward out. Like we worry about our families, our friends, our community, then our town, then our state, then our country, then our hemisphere, and then our world. Like, it's a ripple effect. And unfortunately, there's a lot of places in the world where people are still like worried about their lives. Like, I mean, America's still like not off the hook. Like, we have death by cop, we have the war on drugs, we have the war on terror. So at any given time, any American citizen, no matter how white or how male you can be, could still be killed. I'm just kidding, but that's like the least dangerous to be in the world is a white male, unless some areas. But it's just a sad fact. I mean, it's changing, but slowly. Anyways, my point is, be good to everybody. We're all people. We're all out there just trying to do stuff, trying to have fun, trying to Minecraft, trying to Fortnite, trying to have, yeah, fun, and try not to step on each other's toes. All right, ta-ta for now. I'll see you in the next one.